We have been dealing with this smoke today. We dealt with smoke earlier in the spring because of the Western Canadian wildfires. These are the Eastern Canadian fires. They're much closer to home, and we have much more impacts from it. So tonight you will have another red sunset. If you're going to be out and about, you'll see it. Hazy conditions expected to continue overnight. As a matter of fact, we have another kind of dense area of smoke that it will be moving our direction. Temperatures head back into the upper 40s and low 50s by the time we hit tomorrow morning. And yeah, that smoke will be hanging around. You can't see it on infrared satellite imagery. It's so low in the atmosphere. It's also just kind of thin, but we know that it's here. We can see it, we can smell it, and we have air quality alerts to tell us about too. So we do have an EPA, an Ohio EPA air quality alert that was issued for the entire state. This is kind of stepped up from the local air quality alerts that we would typically get from the Northeast Ohio Area Coordinating Agency, the NOACA folks. You can see the smoke on the visible satellite imagery if we turn off basically all the color underneath it. It's this very thin layer, this little white haze that you see here. This is the thick smoke that they've been dealing with in cities like New York and down into New Jersey. But when you move farther to the west, you can barely see these very thin veils of smoke that are starting to move to the south. And we have another concentrated area that is coming in. We can flip it to a different satellite product called the vertically integrated smoke product. And you can see that that big plume that we have been talking about over New York City is kind of highlighted here. This is the plume that fired up yesterday. Today's plume is firing up right now in eastern Canada. Remember, when we get into the daytime, as things warm up, the air becomes even drier, just how physics works things out with humidity. Warmer air has much more capacity, but we're not adding a whole lot more humidity to it. So basically, we're just drying things out. That dry air acts as a trigger for the fires. At night, we see the fire suppression start to happen. It actually starts to calm things down a little bit. So this smoke plume that is firing up right now will be rotating our direction, and that is because of the upper level wind patterns. That wind at 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 feet, the smoke gets lofted way up in the atmosphere, and then it's carried by prevailing winds. There's a big area of low pressure in New England. This has been here for a few days, so this is why this story kind of continues to just sit and spin, quite literally, the air in our direction. And so this next plume is expected to work its way a little bit farther to the west and back to northern Ohio for us tomorrow. As a matter of fact, this is the smoke forecast for the next 48 hours. Watch how that plume begins to move to the southwest toward us by the time we hit tomorrow afternoon. So we will see the smoke and haze tomorrow morning. We will see it thicken as we get into the afternoon and the evening. Tomorrow night sunset will likely be very red, and Friday morning sunrise will have very thick haze in the atmosphere above us. We're expected to continue that very thick haze through the day on Friday. It's not until Saturday that we get any appreciable change in here, and I'll show you why in just a moment. National Designer hour forecast for tomorrow. We're going to top out in the upper 60s. That haze is keeping us a little bit cool. Temperatures are going to be sliding as we get into the evening. It's not really going to be a hot day for us, but refreshing is what we'll call it. On the rain chances returning, so we have the smoke in here. This is that same smoke forecast I just showed you. So 8 a.m. you can see how the smoke is across northern Ohio. That thicker smoke begins to move south as we get into Friday morning. There is ever so slim a chance for rain, especially east of I-77, not only tomorrow, but then again on Friday. I'm really not thinking that's going to be a big deal for us, but that is what's left of that East Coast storm system. That moves out by Saturday morning. That should help to move the winds around and get things moving, and it also opens the door for our next storm system to come at us from the west. This is more traditional, what we would think of happening. By Sunday, we'll start dry, but by the afternoon and especially evening and overnight, rain finally catches up to us, and it looks like we may have a good shot at rain not only late Sunday, but also on Monday and maybe even into Tuesday. So that is certainly some welcome news. Here's your Union Home Mortgage forecast. Look how the temperatures jump. Once that East Coast low gets out of the way, everything begins to change. So we're going to get rid of the haze, get rid of the smoke, and bring back our summertime temperatures. We should be up around 80 degrees on Saturday. Sunday, late day, we're looking at those thunderstorm chances rolling in from west to east. We'll continue with scattered rain and storms on Monday. We'll have a few pop-ups on Tuesday and maybe into Wednesday, but for the most part, I think everybody can agree. This is one of those times when the rain is okay. We'll take the rain. Yeah. Bring it.
Bring it on. All right, Betsy, thanks.
Thanks, Betsy.